Oh, and real quick before we start the show, I would like to take a second and let it be known that Check Me Out is here to show love for up-and-coming artists, indie artists, and labels. DJs, producers, engineers, managers, promoters, even venue owners. All because this ties into the music industry, as well as the streaming companies that we have as of now. Check Me Out is also a show to give information to the artists as well as help make connections if needed and possible. In a nutshell, we need each other to help this thing we call the music industry to keep going. But most importantly, we need the fans. So if you are any one of those people that I mentioned, please feel free to reach out for an interview or possibly to connect with anyone you see on the show. And if you have a business and a commercial to promote that business and you would like to promote on our show, feel free to reach out and we can talk about the particulars. And the way you can reach out, email us at checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. That's all one word, checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. Peace.
What's happening? It's Real Liv, and this is Check Me Out.
Yeah, this is your boy Ski 3, and I'm on Check Me Out.
Check me out.
Yo. This is the portal. Check me out. Check me out.
Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out.
What's good, everyone? This your boy JTL, and this is another episode of Check Me Out. So before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can know when we drop another show. Alright, so today on Check Me Out, we got a special guest coming through to drop some gems and knowledge for y'all. Music consultant JAI YOKO ENT. Alright, she's going to be teaching y'all how you can be successful and still be independent. But it comes with the right mindset and going for it. You know what I mean? Also, we're going to be talking about 2 classic albums that dropped on this day. So make sure you get your popcorn, your drink. You already know what we always say over here. So let's get started. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the importance of having a music consultant, having, you know what I'm saying, a strong team, a lawyer, a good manager, a booking agent. You will see what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and get the show started. In this day and age, more artists are starting to focus and take their careers into their own hands. Artists like Russ, Chance the Rapper, and Tech N9ne, just to name a few, have had record label experiences but chose to go independent. With streaming sites like Apple, Spotify, and Tidal available, along with digital distribution through CD Baby and TuneCore, most artists with sense of know-how don't necessarily need a label. Artists are starting to focus more on making great music while putting together a strong team, a good manager, entertainment lawyer, booking agency, and don't forget, a music consultant, are the links to a successful music career. Besides, labels more than likely hire these professionals anyway. So to think that the only way you can be successful is to sign to a major is a thing of the past. Not saying that record labels can't help, but with all the acts they sign every year, there's no telling what could happen to your career. So that's why here at Check Me Out, we work to help give you the knowledge you need to figure out the route you want to take. So keep grinding and keep learning, and just as Nip said, the marathon continues. All right, so as y'all can see, you got artists out there that's doing their thing. You know, you got Russ, you got Chance the Rapper, Tech N9ne. They've all had multi-million dollars on the table, like $1 million deals, talking about helping them take them to the next level. But they've seen it that they can do it on their own. Once they had a little taste of what the label can do for them, figured out and did it on their own. Just like Tech N9ne a while back, he was saying how him and his partner had a $60 million deal on the table, turned it down and went out there and still got the bag on their own. Tech N9ne and his people were able to have #1 album sales, you know what I mean, charted #1 on iTunes and things of that nature. So if you go look him up, you'll see the millions of streams. You go look Russ up, you go look Chance the Rapper. Now, Chance the Rapper, of course, you know, they say he had a little deal situation with Apple, but he earned that, you know what I mean? Him and his team earned that. So it's still ways that you can go ahead, put your business down and get things cracking, right? You just got to learn, get the right people around you, go out there and really test the waters for yourself, you know what I mean? So, got that out the way. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the 2 classic albums that dropped on this day. One being Salt and Pepper's Black's Magic, and then two, my boy, man, Tupac, Me Against the World. Let's go ahead. On March 19th, 1990, Salt and Pepper released Black's Magic. They were highly considered the female version of Run DMC at the time. And even though they had a softcore sexual image with one of their prior singles, Push It, on this album, they decided to talk more about being responsible when it came to adult relationships. On the song, Let's Talk About Sex, Salt and Pepper vocalized how important it was to be open to the conversation versus running from it. And with their other single, Expression, they spoke about being yourself and not letting anyone stop you from living your life to the fullest. Besides TLC, Salt and Pepper definitely were strong sisters that helped push the culture of womanhood forward. The album's producers were Salt and Pepper, Spinderella, Steve-O, The Boy Wonder, Herbie the Love Bug, and others. The album would go on to be certified platinum and a true classic, released on this day. On March 14th, 1995, while serving time in a maximum correctional facility, Tupac released Me Against the World. It was his third album, and even though he was not free to promote or perform for the album, it still went on to go double platinum, with singles like Shed So Many Tears, Temptations, and Dear Mama. Tupac made sure to be more personal and forthcoming with the issues of having a mother that was dealing with drug addiction, but still expressing his love and respect for her. Also, he spoke about wondering if he would face prison time for his pending case and not be free to continue living out his dreams on the song It Ain't Easy. Being that this is my favorite Tupac album of all time, I definitely felt his passion and pain. It even made me want to start rapping after listening to it front to back. So if you've never heard it, get on a streaming site and check it out right now so you can see why he's arguably one of the top rappers of all time. Tupac, Me Against the World, on this day. Let's start with Salt and Pepper first. Like, I didn't really get to the Black's Magic album, but I know you listened to it, so you can go ahead and kind of like break it down and give your opinion on it.
Well, the Black Magic album, that's when, they switched up their style. But in 1990, it was real big in hip hop as far as everybody being original and creative. Because you remember in 89, 88, everybody's pretty much looking the same. The big fat ropes and leather coats and, suits by Dapper Dan and, and it was all about being original. That's when you had groups coming out like, Digital Underground and, there was Tribe Called Quest and, people with versatility. So, which leads to one of the songs on the album, Expression. You know what I'm saying? Express yourself. You gotta be you and only you. You know what I'm saying? Why are you gonna wear a mask? You're wearing a mask around somebody and then, they end up liking who the representative is, and then, the real you's gonna come out. So, like the song say, gotta be you and only, you know what I'm saying? But then it had other tracks on there like the title track, Black Magic. That was on some, you know what I'm saying? That beat would make you want to freestyle over it. Chorus, you know what I'm saying? But they started writing their own tracks. A lot of their earlier hits, like Everybody Get Up, Push It, a few others, were all written by Herbie Lovebug, But on that album, they started writing some of their songs, and the song Let's Talk About Sex went gold. And they wrote that song. And that's when they first started to see some payout and everything, and for their work, and that's when they started to just like, oh, we can start writing our own songs, which led up to other songs like What a Man and stuff like that. But Black Magic, that's when they decided, that's when they put their foot down, like, all right, look, Herbie, we've been working with you for a while, but we want to try some other stuff, and that's what it was. That album was a good album. It wasn't ranked one of Salt and Pepper's best albums, but it is stamped as as a good album and a classic album because of the songs that are on there. There are timeless songs.
Legendary selling. They sold too. I went platinum, of course,
Yeah,
as well. Yep,
yeah.
went platinum. Yep. So yeah, like with as females, you know what I'm saying, one of the first female groups, they helped push the culture forward with that. You definitely gotta give them their props on that. And real quick, another thing, like when we talk about a lot of MCs losing, you know what I'm saying, they respect losing stripes for, not writing their own stuff. Um, would you say like we should let certain artists slide if they actually did something for the culture when it comes to that? Because you got Dre, you got Easy, you got Puff, but these are juggernauts in the culture. You know what I'm saying? They actually push the culture forward. So do we let that slide?
Busta Rhymes, I heard Busta Rhymes say something on the interview not too long ago, and I agree with him. He just put it in a way that I wasn't able to put it. It's like, you can be a dope MC. If somebody writes your rhymes, you can very well be a dope MC, but you're not gonna be the greatest of. You're not gonna be you can't be ranked in the greatest of MCs. Why?
Right.
Because your stage presence, the way you deliver the rhyme, all that, your crowd presence, you ain't seeing. You know what I'm saying? You could be great at that, but you'll never be the greatest. You'll never be a GOAT because what came from your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear what everybody don't think the same. I don't care if you be around somebody 20. I've been around one of my brothers all my life, and me and that dude think completely different. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear how you think. I want to hear what you put on that paper. Period. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you can't call yourself a GOAT if you can't come up with something on your own all the time. Now, have somebody ever came up with something to add to a song? Okay, yeah, that's fine. But he ain't write your rhymes. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
What about okay? So on with Me Against the World, you already know that's my favorite joint right there from Pop. I feel like that was a testament because for me, I heard the first two albums before that, but that's the one I really connected with. Like you could tell he really conduced down a lot of songs from the first album to the second album to this album where like he was able to get directly to the point. Like we talked last show, you know what I'm saying, finding yourself as an artist. And I feel like that's what he did on this album. He found himself as an artist, even with going through a lot of issues. He just like really focused a lot more better on this album. You know what I mean? So what do you think about it? Like, how did it change the culture as far as, what Pac did on Me Against the World? Like, what's your feelings on that album?
That album is my favorite Pac album of all time. I still listen to that album. It's still in rotation. I put it on #1 and let it play. That's really, besides Machiavelli, that's, the one album I listen to from start to finish, without skipping a song, as far as how it spoke to me directly, it's like it was written from my heart. Like I was going through, you gotta understand, I was 16, 17 at the time. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that was going on in my world, it was like Pac wrote that album from my heart. You know what I'm saying? My favorite Pac song, well, one of my favorite Pac songs, one of my top 5 favorite Pac songs is It Ain't Easy. You know what I'm saying? He described my teenage years with that song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like he wanted you to understand and overstand him. He wasn't just this wild, you know what I'm saying? Like, Hey, listen,
Mhm.
like there's layers and layers and layers and layers to me.
Real talk. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with it, man. Like that's why I still connect with, like the older songs. I like when they put out newer albums, but they kept some old, kept some of the songs the way it was. Like on the one album they had what's the one jam? I'm forgetting it. Who Do You Believe In? Like they kept that original.
Mhm.
Um, what else? Last Night, you know what I'm saying? The one that DJ Quick made, that beat, they kept that original. Yep. So, I think, what I mean, you can't deny it. You know what I mean? Pac got to that point where you had to respect it. Like for real. So
They had they had to leave last night original because that
yeah.
was a quick beat. That was a quick beat. So
Mm,
you, you quick and pop. You know,
yeah.
it wasn't the last time they worked together. You know what I'm saying? But still, that's you know.
And that was
Oh,
classic joint.
speaking of pop, I'm going through my vinyl, and I got the vinyl of the Above the Rim soundtrack.
Yeah.
There's a third Pac song on there with Tretch.
Mm.
Yeah,
What's the
it's
title?
only on the vinyl. It's only on the vinyl. So on the tape, you got an extra song. You got Tupac Pain. On the vinyl, you got a third song, which was with Pac and Tretch. I forgot the name of it, but I got it at home. I was looking at it, I was like,
Oh, I'm
oh,
about to look that up. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I'm about to look that up. All right, y'all. So those are two classic albums. We're gonna go ahead and what I'm saying, get into this J Yoko ENT interview. Well, actually, we're gonna go ahead and get to the commercial break first. Then we're gonna go ahead and come back and get into that interview with y'all. Okay? So make sure y'all sit tight. We'll be right back. What's good, everybody? It's your boy JTL, Opposite from the Norm. And real quick, I just want to let y'all know about Opposite from the Norm apparel t-shirts. Brought to you by GFam G-Wear. You like our show and our content? Then go to gfament.com and click on G-Store, and there you can purchase an Opposite from the Norm t-shirt. Also, you can check out other great tees that represent true kings and true queens as well. Shirts that motivate and make you feel great. Once again, that's gfament.com and click on the G Store link to get your apparel tees. Now back to the show. Chill!
Here at Above Average Towing, we are here to service your towing needs. We do jump start, towing, tire change, gas delivery, and lockouts. We have certified technicians, we are licensed and insured, and we give you an accurate arrival time as we care about you and want to get you off the road safely. Affordable prices and great customer service. Serving Pinellas County and surrounding areas. Contact us at 727-288-3556.
Putting in work all the time. Whoa, well, hello there. Good to see y'all again. Guess what? I'm Jai Yoko, and we bringing it back right here to JICA. Artist Development 102 is definitely on the way. Tickets will be on Eventbrite, and this is something that you do not going to miss. So for my folks who weren't at 101, don't be that fool and not be at 102. I got my attorney coming through, Shannon Liggin, to drop some jewels when it comes to the law side. I'm bringing you the jewels on how to get the bag, how to market your music, how to promote your music, and build that super fan base. So make sure you're right here in the building. JICA, Artist Development 102. Tickets on Eventbrite. I want to see you here.
Baby girl, God got a plan and a purpose for you. The power of forgive me. The power of faith move mountains.
When's Daddy coming home? He coming home. Just eat your food.
How you supposed to tell me what the headphones on?
I can hear you. What's up?
Okay, Trey, I need you to watch the baby while I'm at work. Can you do that?
What about the daycare we paying for?
I pay for the daycare. You put in $20. That's not paying for daycare. Here, point blank, I can't keep doing this by myself. This is your son also.
Yeah.
Once again, you're walking out.
I'm coming back. I'll be back. I'll be back.
13 years old, killed by the police, man. Sick of this shit. I need to talk to you about something. So what you know about the taxi cab dope gang?
The what?
Follow me. Straight out the bottle, straight out the bar. 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 Follow me.
These police officers don't never think about pulling over taxi cabs, bro. It's the driver, 2 passengers, and 100 pounds of dope.
Is the route for quad? Is the route for you, man? Business as usual.
We pull up, we dead and you going ain't shit about that revenue. If I'm caught, I'm going federal. Mine on riches. Always choose money over bitches. Told my nigga in the pen, keep his head up. When I look inside his eyes, I don't see nothing. That's a gone soul. He said first day he gon' replace his with Joe's.
I'm a big dog, no little. Serving that dog food, no kibbles. She gon' eat the drug gel like Skittles. I'm the man, not the man in the middle. I ain't trippin', long as my real ones got my bike though. I ain't trippin', long as I keep me some racks, ho.
Home, young blood. Home. You might well get used to it.
That's right. What brought you in here, bro?
This ain't home. This ain't home, bro.
It's your home now, bro.
Home is where the heart at, bro.
Exactly.
Home is where my kids at. Home is where my girl at, bro.
You might want to get used to it, bro. Everything you just named, we got the same thing outside these walls, bro.
Yes,
we got the same thing, but you got a release date though, right?
11 years?
But you got a release date.
In 11 years?
Oh, we got partners in here, when they look at their paperwork, it's all zeros.
My bad, my earlier big dog. Bro, I gotta get used to this, man.
Sound like you ready to have that conversation, bro.
I guess so.
I don't know your story, but what you in for, man?
Man, I'm in here because I trusted the people. Because I trusted my brother. I trusted my friends, and he told on me, bro. I'm talking about told on me.
Man, it sounds like me the first day I was in here, bro. You might as well get over that. Using everybody else as an excuse for why you in here ain't gonna help you survive in here. That's bullshit, man. Even though it might be true, because I ain't gonna sit here and tell you what you're feeling is wrong. I'm gonna just tell you need to use that feeling to express it in a different way. Change the narrative. Control your path. Because you ain't here for a while. So it's either gonna be a good road or a hard road.
Hey, bro, what you reading, man? What it is?
Oh boy, this shit, bang.
Well, from a lot of shit dangerous. Everybody wanna be famous. Said they hit from every different angle. Paparazzi people explaining. Well, from a lot of shit dangerous. Everybody wanna be famous. Said they hit from every different angle. Paparazzi people explaining. Yeah. Look, you gotta be where I be to see what I see. It made a G out of me. Everyday feelings on E, but my name holding weight in these streets, baby. I'm on TV. Brick living got me silent, so I'm too hard. I be swimming to the money like a pool shark. And I can sell water to fish, get them hooked hard. Cause where I'm from, you only hood or your book small. You could be sick of being down till you come up. Channel the pain and get you reaching for the stars. Daddy walk, that's how we gon' handle it, mama. Reshuffle the deck and hope we deal some better cards.
All right, we back from commercial break. You know what I mean? If you've seen any one of these entrepreneurs that you want to highlight, go holler at them or hit us up so you can get in contact with them. Hit us up at checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. One word, checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. All right. So now the moment y'all all been waiting for, JAI YOKO ENT. Yo, sister got history. She know what she doing. She don't play no games, man. Believe that. So y'all go ahead, check it out. JAI YOKO ENT. What's good, everybody? This is JTL. Check Me Out Music, and on this episode, just like we did the last one with entertainment attorney Shannon Liggins, we got JAI YOKO ENT here. He's a music consultant, and just like I said before, if you guys want to be successful in this business, you got to make sure you have a strong team around you. All right, so let's get started. So, what's good with you, Jay?
Not much. Here another day. Appreciate you having me, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad you can be here because, like I said, it's really important for people to, what I'm saying, know what they need to be successful. And the first question I want to ask you is, when you deal with artists, are they realistic with you? Meaning, do they think that they're gonna be the next Drake, Beyonce, or do they know that, hey, you may not be a superstar, but you still can be successful in your career? You know what I'm saying? Like, say if you independent or on the indie label and you sell like 50 to 100,000 records, that's still good money. You know what I mean? So let's talk about how artists are when they come usually.
For sure. So I think it all depends on the caliber of artists, if you would. I've had some artists that come to me and they like, I'm gonna be Beyonce's little cousin. And I've had some people come that's like, listen, man, I got, 10,000 fans and followers. That's all I need. I don't need nothing else. I'm able to, live and be wealthy off of, just those 10,000 or a couple of people, if you would. So to me, it works. It all just depends on where you want to be as an artist and what you really want to get done type thing and what your goal is. You feel me? Like, do you want to be local? Do you want to be selling out shows? Some people don't want that, so it's all on the dream of what the artists want and where they see themselves to be able to determine what level that they really want to be able to get to.
Okay. So when you first get started, let's go with the realistic artists. What are the first like things you consult them on? Like, what's the first steps you think they should do for the artist that's like, yo, I'm good with 10,000 sales?
I mean, for me, it don't matter if you want to be a, just rocking out in the basement type of artist, or if you want to be, Billboard level. It's all about being able to actually own the intellectual property. So for me, it's always kind of trying to teach artists. I'd rather teach them about this industry that they're about to get into and kind of the rules before kind of just throwing them in. Because the music industry, unlike anything else, is an industry where people don't get training first. You feel me? Like, when you become a doctor, you got to go to how many years of school? You can't just jump in the operating room and be like, yo, I'm in your belly. It is what it is type thing. You feel me? Same thing with, people who want to be a botanist. You got to go to school for that. If you want to be a dentist, you got to go to school for that normally. You feel me? If you want to be in the NBA, you normally train for years and years to be able to prepare yourself to be able to, take up for what you're about to get into. In the music industry, we never really train and do the technical aspect. It's just like, cool, we make some dope music, we put it on Instagram, cool, I made it. And it's like, but nobody talks about the business side. Nobody talks about the copyrights that need to be done. Nobody talk about the producer agreements, the split sheets, how to actually properly record a song versus doing it in your house type situation. So for me, the beginning is always the business aspect. Let me teach you the realm of what you're actually about to get into. You feel me? Like, this is the world that's about to happen. And even though, this is a hobby for you right now, so you got to determine if this is going to be a hobby or if this is going to be something that's a job. Because if it's a hobby, then some of this stuff is not going to apply to you. But if you're trying to take this to the next level, like, here's a couple steps that you need to be prepared for. You need to be prepared to, invest. You need to be prepared to work more hours than you probably work any other job you had in your life. For me, you need to be prepared to have a team. So I try to come at people and just be real and let them know, like, if you're trying to do this for a living, like, there's nothing to play with. This is life. You feel me? So I try to get them prepared for it so they're not so overwhelmed with with things that may be going on.
Okay. Like, I was looking at your looking on the website, and I like how you had different steps for different things, you know what I mean, and breaking stuff down, giving people knowledge about it. And then I seen some of your videos where you were talking to artists and people in the industry. So with that being said, like let's go through a couple of those steps, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning stages, like you say, you may say paperwork and stuff like that. So say if I'm an artist, I come to you, and I'm like, all right, I got my music, you know what I'm saying, I just don't know what I should do now. You know what I mean? I made sure it sounds good, you know what I'm saying, I got it produced good, I got it mixed good, master and all that. So what would you tell somebody that just comes to you with music, but they don't know where to go after that?
So I wouldn't even tell them. The first thing I'm asking them is, what are you trying to do? What's your overall goal with this music? You feel me? What is your motivation? What is your intention with this music? That then tells me what route I need to go next. You feel me? And what people have to understand is that whether we know it or not, or whether that we see it in the forefront, music is intentional. You feel me? Some type of way. You're putting out some type of message that you're creating. You're putting out to the world. What do you want the people to take with that message? Do you want them to agree with you? Do you want them to stand with you? Do you want them to support what you're doing? And based off of that and their goal of, again, what are you doing with this song? Cool, you made a dope song. Do you just want to put it on Instagram? Do you want it to be in a Netflix movie? Do you want to have 10 million streams, or do you just want it so you and your grandma can rap it together on TikTok? What is it that you want to do? So from there, I always tell people, like, the ball is in the artist court. You feel me? Like the whole, y'all drive the boat. That's what I used to always tell people. The artist drives the boat. I'm just on the passenger side. You feel me? I'm just supposed to show that while you driving, I supply you with snacks. I need to roll your little stuff up and make sure you stay rolled up. You need a little drink every now and then. Change the radio station. That's my job. But I can't drink for you. So when an artist comes to me, the first thing I'm asking them is like, what are you trying to do? What they're trying to do and what their goals are. Because sometimes, especially in this industry, like, the artist's goals and what they want to do get overshadowed by what somebody tells them they should do. You feel me? Oh, that's a blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's cool. What do you want to do? Because somebody's telling you to go put on a diaper and run around in South by Southwest like the baby did, but you totally opposite. You feel me? Like, you might be on some, like, I want to be covered from head to toe. Why are you butt naked with a diaper on? You feel me? Like, what is it that you actually want to do? And they might say, well, you know what? I don't want to be seen at all. You feel me? I want to be covered from head to toe. Well, if that's what you let's figure out how to make what you want to do work. So just to sum all that up, my biggest thing is going to the artist and trying to figure out, what do you want? Not about what I want. I can give you the game for everything. What do you want, though? What is it that you want to do to make?
See, that's good, because some people, like you said, like in your situation, I've met other music consultants like in the past, and here and there you'll have some that give you like what you should do, like you just said, versus being like, okay, what's the direction you want to go in? All right, so let's say you got an artist that's, bumping on YouTube a little bit, and they got a video, they might have like 5,000 views or something like that, and they feel like, okay, I want to do trap, and people fucking with it, they like what they're hearing, so I want to go in the direction of, say, like a Future or something like that. You know what I mean? So say if they like, I want to be able to captivate the streets. You know what I'm saying? I want a good following for the street cats. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you give them direction on that? Because that's where everybody going for nowadays.
Everybody want the streets, but then the one thing I flip and I ask people is, who are the streets? Who are they? You feel me? And it goes back to anytime when it comes to trying to promote a project, market it, get PR behind it, you got to know who you're marketing it to. You feel me? Like, you can't market, a song to an 80-year-old like you would a 21-year-old. They're two totally different markets. So everybody's saying, I want the streets. I want what's popping. What is popping, though? You feel me? And is what's popping in the street for you? You feel me? So the biggest thing is trying to get artists to figure out who are their actual fans. You feel me? Like, cool, Future has a fan base from everybody that's 17 to 35. That's Future. But what about you? You might not have 17 to 35. You might be 24 to 36 or something. You feel me? So why are you trying to market to these teeny boppers and they're not your market? So they got to figure out who the target audience are for that specific artist. Cool, I want to reach the streets. Well, what are the streets for me? The streets for me might be 18 to 26 college kids. You feel me? The streets for somebody else might be 17 to 35, dope boy rapper type vibe. You feel me? So we got to figure out what it is actually for us, instead of just trying to go by what might be, assumed as that's what everybody got. That's what everybody doing. Like, trust and believe that the Migos are not marketing to the same people that Future is marketing to. You feel me? Even though they everybody like, oh, they from Atlanta. They market totally different. You feel me? They have two totally different target audiences. But guess what? They're able to succeed because they took time to tap in and figure that out. Migos and Future's highest paying fans and shit are all 13 to 17-year-old white kids. You feel me? So nobody is marketing to 17 to 13 to 17-year-old white kids. You don't see us up here with Justin Bieber flips and all that type of, you feel me? But they know their fan base. They know that the 13 to 17-year-old white kids, they like this track. You feel me? So they don't have to change up so much, but they target it to certain people. 17 or 13 to 17-year-old, what you're putting out to a 13 to 17-year-old white kid who likes this trap is not going to work for me as a 28-year-old who's 29-year-old who's trying to be more of a adult, if you would. You feel me? Like, cool. I had my time when I was in the club, on couches and screaming and all that shit. I did all that already. Now my knees and my back hurt. You feel me? So I need something that's a little more mellow for me type vibe. You feel me? So you got to learn your audience, and your message that you're trying to put out to people, so you know who's going to actually absorb it. Because if not, you're just wasting money trying to keep up with the Joneses.
So you're more on the point of, okay, you come to me like this, go out and really do your own research. Like, who are you already reaching? Who does it work for? Besides just who you want it to work for. So, yeah. So say if an artist come back, like, check it, I did my research and the college kids mess with me. You know what I'm saying? From 18 to 24. How would I market to them? How do I go about like capitalizing off the college fan base that I got?
So now it's every layer that you get to is research. You feel me? So cool. Now you research and you figure out this is my market. So now we got to figure out how is this market receptive and what are they receptive to? You feel me? Like, so I got some 18 to 24-year-old kids. Are they going to open an email or are they going to open a text message? You feel me? So, okay, now that I understand that younger kids are probably going to open a text message, well, how do I text message all these people? Now I got to figure out what text message marketing is. You feel me? Or is it, the little things on the back of the phone, the popples, are these more better than actually passing out an actual business card because these are younger kids? You feel me? Like, if I give this person a business card, are they going to actually use it, or they're probably going to roll up with it? If they're anything like I was at that age, I had a stack of business cards and flyers and stuff, and all I did every time was, oh, cool, somebody else's CD? Well, look, I'm going to download this one. And it is what it is. But now we're in the digital age, so it's like, if I spend X amount of money to print these cards, are they want to use them? Or can I do some digital stuff like, yo, come here real quick, boop. And now it's like, oh my God, it's right on my phone. You feel me? Like, you got to learn your fan base and see who you're working with. So cool, now you figured out who that fan base might be. Now you got to figure out what they're receptive to. You feel me? How do they listen to music? How do they watch music videos? What apps do they use? What apps do they not use? You feel me? Like, what's their time that they're awake? What's the time that they interact more? Is it more in the morning? Is it more in the night? Even like, now you really, everything is still research. You feel me? So cool. Out your tribe. Now you have to learn your tribe. You feel me? Like, now you got to learn, what are they interested in? So I don't know if anybody's ever put like an ad on Facebook or Instagram and it asks you interest. You got to be able to say what they're interested in. And a lot of that is, what other artists that are in that same parameter do you sound like? Who do you with? You feel me? Clothing brands line, who do you correlate with? You feel me? Like, cool, maybe you got, a Tiana Taylor kind of vibe. So maybe one of your interests want to be what? Pretty Little Things. That's a clothing line and she's a whip type situation. You feel me? So now that you found your tribe, you got to do the research and figure out who your tribe really are. You feel me? And how do they actually interact and how do they intertwine? I'm sorry, it's a lot of stuff going on today.
You good. All right. So with everything you saying, I think that a lot of artists, this might be why they end up getting with the record labels, because I don't think a lot of artists are ready for this grind like that. So would you ever suggest to artists like, yo, since you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, you might need to get you a manager first so they can help you do the stuff that you need to do so we can talk together? Okay.
No.
All right.
No. One or two reasons. One, why you got a manager and you don't have anything to manage?
That's true.
Now, if we being real, people don't understand it, and it's a great misconception. A manager is a team member. You feel me? A part of your team. A team member is somebody that 9 times out of 10 needs to be what? Paid. So if you are bringing somebody in, and you as an artist are not making any money, just on the artistry alone, you feel me? You're already in the hole because now you owe this manager X amount for a retainer for a month of work that you're not making any money for. So now you just spent $300-400 on a manager for them to not have anything to manage. What are we doing? Manager's job is not to be able to go get you shows and to get you opportunities. That's a booking agent's job. That's a PR person's job. That's not your manager's job. So that's the one reason why I tell people don't get a manager if you don't have anything to manage. Two, and even more, my biggest reason is you got to know what the hell a manager is supposed to do before you let this person be responsible to do it for you. You feel me? So who you bring a manager on and you say, okay, this manager is going to handle my X, Y, and Z. Well, how do you know if this manager is actually doing it if you don't know what's supposed to be done? So I push the artist, learn the industry for yourself first. That way you can now say, you know what, you're now responsible for, making sure that all my team correlate. You talk to my PR people, you talk to my videographer people, you talk to my content people, and you make sure we all on the same page. But you as the artist have already done that job, so you know what needs to be done. So if you reach out to your manager and you say, make sure you correlate with the team today, and then you happen to text your videographer and you like, yo, did my manager hit you up today? No, I ain't heard from him in 7 days. Your manager, what's up? Why you hit up my videographer? Oh, I already did it already. Well, I know how to manage my team, so I already talked with everybody and they said that you didn't. So why am I paying you if you're not doing X, Y, and Z? But if you don't know what the role that the manager is supposed to play and what they're supposed to do, how do you know that they're doing what you're paying them to get done? So I tell people, don't go to a manager until you A, have something to manage, and B, understand how this industry works, because we're letting people be responsible for our careers and our dreams, and we don't know if they actually have the talent or the caliber of the network to get the job done.
True, that's facts. Okay, I see you be on it. So so let me ask you this: what are like for an artist or maybe an indie label that you work with, give me a little, I guess, a little story about a situation or artist that you work with that you're real proud of, you know what I mean, and the steps you help them to get going for their career to work out.
For sure. I think my go-to person is always Legit. Legit is an artist out here. He's from Polk County originally. I actually met Legit. Legit is actually how me and Shannon met, believe it or not. He was the seed to all that happening. So before COVID, I was on tour pretty much for a living with the Rel Carter Culture Tour. Rel Carter is a gentleman from Rock Nation, Equity. He pretty much has been a director of A&R at both. He's actually Jay-Z's nephew. So we've all kind of been on tour with him since about 2018. And I actually met Shannon because Shannon came to our workshop in Baltimore. Legit was her artist. You know, Shannon does the entertainment law. So Legit was her artist. So she came up there with him, just showing support. I'm doing my workshop kicking game, and I'm very open when I do my workshops. I'm asking everybody questions, and Shannon is answering everything. So I'm literally like I don't know who you are back then, but you're cool because you know all the answers, and you're a black woman, and I'm a black woman, and you're smarter than this. So you know what? We got to be friends. We want to exchange information. Again, we're in Baltimore. We have no idea that we both live in Orlando. So we came home 3 days later, just following up. Great to meet you. Hope we can work with each other one day. Oh snap, you're 30 minutes away. I'm about to pull up, and we've been inseparable ever since. But Legit is a super humble gentleman. We call him White Boy Bad, very versatile artist. But like I tell him and I tell everybody, he is my heart and he is my headache. He was one of the most difficult clients that I dealt with because it was in a situation where we were too comfortable with each other. So Legit would we were on tour. So every week we pretty much seen each other. You feel me? Some type of way. He would come sit in every workshop I gave. He would, commend it and tell people like, oh yeah, she's telling the truth, man. She really da-da-da-da. So it looks good because we have somebody who has a really nice following, who's on tour with us, who's vouching for us. But in all actuality, Legit is not retaining any of this information. You feel me? So every day we're in class and, I'm giving them the game, but then it's not really sticking with him because 4 hours later, we're in the club and we're on couches. You feel me? So it's like, here I am being a coach, but also it's like, how much can we drink? You feel me? So it's like you can't really take it serious. So it gets to a point we they're shooting a video in Miami and we're about to release the video through Equity and it was one of legit songs and literally 20 not even it's maybe 3 hours before this video is releasing on every single platform and we realized like the song's not copywritten. Bro, we are about to do a major PR rollout. We're about to do interviews. We're about to do some of everything. What do you mean that the song is not copywritten? Did you not sit in every class with me and pretty much vouch for everything I spoke about and didn't do this? Like, what are we doing type thing? So me and Legit kind of battled back and forth for a while, just being like, all right, you keep, you know what I'm saying, keep fucking up and I'm giving you this free game and you're not applying it. And he just was doing all kind of shit. So fast forward to about this August that just passed. Legit came back down to we did a panel together at another event that we did, so it was really cool. He actually had a heart to heart with me and was like, "Look, you right. You feel me? There just was a lot of stuff that I wasn't taking serious. There was a deal that was on the table that unfortunately got stale and it fell through because he just wasn't listening to the play that me and Shannon were trying to put together. He humbled himself and he just was like, y'all were right. I was too busy having fun. I had my friends managing me. I had my best friends kind of being my team. We weren't being productive. Money was being stolen. Just was not going right. I'm sorry. How do we fix this? He's like, I'm not comfortable putting music out anymore. He's got songs that have millions of streams and no copyrights type things. You feel me? All independent by himself. So I have a heart to heart with him. I sit down with Legit. On top of, there's already been times where I make certain calls and I just tighten him up on things. But now we're having straight up like, he's like, you know what? I want to pay you for your time. We're going to sit on the phone for 2 hours and we're just tightening certain stuff up. Legit, this is what you're supposed to do. This is your new formula to be able to blah, blah, blah. This is how you release music. Oh, my royalties are messed up. I don't know how this TuneCore works. Schedule a call with me, you, and TuneCore. You feel me? So I really had to sit down and boot camp with him and get everything right. Fast forward to today, though. Legit is an extreme success, all because of himself. So you have a gentleman who, in 2018, when we started tour, when we got off a flight, Legit would go home to an air mattress. You feel me? Straight up. Legit now has his own home that he owns with acres of land in Ohio. You feel me? Where he is able to, he built his own studio in his home so he can record and make music 24/7. You feel me? Legit has amassed over 10 million streams on his music. No label, all independent, and is able to collect this money because I was able to sit down and teach him like, you don't need a label. You just need to get your shit together and do it the right way. You need to make sure that you're doing X, Y, and Z. Make sure you copyright your music. Make sure you're getting all your royalties. Make sure you're doing the proper split sheets. Make sure you're doing blah, blah, blah. When you're getting opportunities to be in music, make sure you're covering your ass by X, Y, and Z. So here we are now, legit, 10 million streams. Got a house studio built into it, featured in a Netflix movie. The Netflix movie rolled out to wind up being into a video game in which the entire video game is his song. He's growing. He's put out a new project. He's at a point now where he's ready to, start dropping music again and doing his thing. But it took him having to learn how this shit works and then realizing, like, I can really make a living off of this. I watched, I say, it went from an air mattress to literally showing me on FaceTime, I'm like, look, this is a studio I just built. Look, this is the room for my dog type shit. You feel me?
Okay.
And being extremely happy about it. So for me, that was just, revelation and real truth that, like, if you teach these people how this shit works, they can really make a living and not have to have a label and not have to have, 30 people in their pocket and I'm going to manage you this and I'm going to teach you. Like, no, learn this shit for yourself. Use your discernment to figure out who's good for you and who's not for your team and make it work.
Okay. I like the sound of that. Yeah. I like the cloth you're cut from, because like I said, I run into so many artists that's trying to do stuff and they're not realistic half the time. Everybody, I'm the hottest thing in the city. I'm gonna change the game and all of that. But you saying the same thing, like, yo, you don't necessarily need a label. Now, I ain't trying to, crap on labels or nothing like that, because some artists may really need that help.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Are you familiar with Russ, the artist Russ?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about his situation? Like, where he built his own following and stuff, went and got a label deal for a year or two, and then he was able to keep everything he did on his own separate from the deal he did with the label. And then when he left the label, he still had his masters and stuff like that.
So Russ's situation is a little different because although he was indie for the most part, a lot of his I guess accolades, if you would, or being able to be successful is because he had a manager who was already kind of known. You feel me? So the manager was able to pull some extra strings for him, and be able to, of course, because the manager already had previous knowledge in the industry, kind of get him a better deal. You feel me? So the manager already knew, like, yo, this deal's not going to last long. He probably had a key man clause. So if the manager was, probably affiliated with whatever deal it was, and if the manager left, then Russ got to leave too. You feel me? So it was very heavily orchestrated to make sure that he was going to be able to retain a lot of his rights and be able to be that independent artist. You feel me? But Russ pretty much was another version of legit, just kind of popped up. You feel me? Like Russ still makes money just off like TuneCore DistroKid type vibe. You feel me? But Russ is an example of, again, finding your fan base, finding your audience, your tribe, your people, creating that super fan base, and then being able to, capitalize off of it. Like a lot of people don't know, you don't need 1 million fans to be successful. You feel me? If you get 1,000 super fans, you're gonna be good. If you get 10,000 super fans, you can actually be wealthy, and people outside of your city might not even know your name. You feel me? Like, you gotta think it's millions of artists out here. Just because we don't know their name don't mean that they're not successful. You feel me? Like, if you look on Spotify right now for the top 10 artists, I can guarantee 5 out of 10 of them gonna be people you never even heard of before. Just because we ain't heard of them don't mean that they not popping somewhere else. So you don't have to be, Cardi B and all over every place, and you don't have to be Quavo, and you know what I'm saying? Or you don't have to be Bobby Shmurda type thing. You feel me? Like, you can fly underground and still make money off this and still be successful and not necessarily be a household name if you just smart and understand the business and the industry that you're in.
Okay. Well, would you ever, and that's what I was going to ask you about with Russ, would you ever tell an artist to do something like that? Or would you tell them, nah, just keep grinding independently instead of trying to do the same thing Russ did?
It all depends on the terms of the situation. I'm not against labels at all. I love labels. You feel me? It just needs to be, people need to understand, one, the business that they're in, and have an attorney to be able to understand the terms in which, this label wants to get you in, on top of being able to have some leverage for yourself. You feel me? So Russ was able probably to get out his deal, and I don't know how it was specifically, but you got to think of the leverage that he created by being able to have mass amounts of streams so fast. You feel me? So he can quickly say, like, bet, y'all as a label gave me 50 grand and I did, 5 million streams type thing. You feel me? Like, but I was going to do that with that 50 grand or without. So now that I did 5 million with your 50 grand, I'm gonna go figure out what I can do on my own. Feel me? Like, so I gave y'all 50 grand back. And again, I'm just making numbers up right now. I gave y'all 50 grand back. You feel me? So like now I'm gonna take 50 grand on my own. If I got 5 million with 50 grand, there's no reason I can't take the same 50 grand on my own and make this shit happen again. You feel me? So it's being able to create the leverage to be able to negotiate with these deals and say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do. So I'm definitely for a label. I wouldn't really tell anybody to just, hey, go do what Russ did, because this person plan is not going to work for you. Y'all not in the same room. Y'all not the same artist. Y'all don't have the same situation. Everything has to be unique. What I do tell people is build your leverage though. You feel me? Like, build the value that you have as an artist. Build your catalog. Make sure you have ownership. Make sure you're taking care of your publishing. Make sure you're collecting the royalties that you're entitled to. You feel me? Like, make sure you're paying attention to your analytics and you're keeping track numbers wise. That way, when this label do come to you and they try to make you a deal, when you have leverage, you can easily counter it and make a better offer. You feel me? A label comes to you and say, well, bet I want to give you $500,000. And you're like, well, based on what I have with my whole entity, you just lay everything out. I have my own publishing company. I have my own record label. I have my own booking company. I have my own t-shirt merchandising company. For $500,000, it's like, I made that in t-shirts alone this year. So what else do you have to offer me? Because $500,000 is only enough for one of these entities. And if you want to take me, you have to take all of these entities, because that's what I am. I'm not an artist. I'm a business. It's not a businessman. I'm a businessman. And that's what people hate as far as leverage. So when you see these people doing stuff like called joint ventures instead of being signed, that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to the table. They're going to Atlantic and they're saying, here's my whole empire. Sign all of it. Pay me for all of it. Because without you, I don't need you. I have my own empire already. Y'all need me. So if y'all need me, y'all gonna pay me and the squad. That's the
Real
level
talk.
create.
Real talk. I like that. So, how did you get into this business? Because I see you try to make sure you straight to the point, and I'm sure you had a lot of artists you had to let know, like, listen, we ain't about to waste all this time. I ain't buy this watch to do that. So, so go ahead and give me a little bit of your backstory.
I actually got into this industry to be quite candid and honest, trying to stay my ass out of trouble. To be 100% real, I graduated high school and I was in the DMV, so that's a DC, Maryland area type vibe. DMV was kind of wild growing up. It was a real oxymoron where I was in a wealthy neighborhood, but still just a weird, crazy life that was very gentrified and just switching over. So my biggest thing when I graduated high school was get the hell away from home. So I went to St. John's up in New York, in Queens. I pretty much was trying to just figure out life from there. Around after the first semester, Jay almost got arrested for just, trying to survive life type thing. You feel me? And after realizing like, wow, my mom definitely just coughed up $52,000 for 1 year. If I get a phone call about being arrested, she's going to kill me type thing. So I just told myself, I'm like, yo, I got to find some type of way to be occupied and not get in trouble. So I went to look for an internship. Y'all lie to you not. I got this internship off of Craigslist. I had never done anything in the music industry. I just told myself, like, what do you like? At this time, I wanted to be a producer. So I was really big on trying to figure out how the MPC works. I wanted to be the next Pharrell, Missy Elliott, Timberland type vibe. I met with this dude, and it just was cool to me because, honestly, he was black. So I'm like, bet, if I'm going to intern for him, I'm going to intern for somebody that's black. So I got the internship. My first day of work, my first task was, hey, bring me some trees. And I'm like, damn it, I just got in trouble for this. This is what I was not trying to do type. But you feel me? So I did it. So literally we sitting in the office and, doing my thing. I'm doing my job at this point. And he's like, bet. So our first project, he's saying it so candidly. Our first project is a secure this MasterCard deal for Soulja Boy. It's 2011. So I'm just like, nah, you don't know Soulja Boy, bro. There's no way. So man, just sit, yo, Soulja, what's up? Yo, and I'm just like, yo, this can't be real right now. There's no Soulja Boy in 2011, like mid, crank that. So all that was popping. You feel me? So it threw me by a loop. So I pretty much stayed up under this guy's wing. And he taught me.
And what you said his brother's name was?
His name is Theo Brown. He's out now.
Brother.
He works with Empire now. He works with what was it, the Big Three before they kind of shut down with COVID, the new basketball league, Global Empire. He's still around. That's still my OG. So I pretty much stayed up under his wing for a little bit. He was doing a lot of college booking at the time. So again, I had never been in his realm. So I went from college kid to learning how to put together mailing databases, learning how to book artists, putting together. He was doing all the shows in like New York, which is CUNY and SUNY, like all their homecomings, like major shows type thing. One of my biggest tasks was actually I had to book J. Cole in 2011 for one of their CUNY shows. The crazy thing was J. Cole was an intern for this same guy. You feel me? Almost 2 or 3 years. So he's like, yo, this kid used to intern with me. I'm like, nah, you lying. He shows me pictures like in the same office that we in. And for me, I'm like, yo, J. Cole was from Fayetteville. That's where my family was from. You feel me? J. Cole went to St. John's. I went to St. John's. J. Cole interned with this dude. And so for me, I'm just like, this shit's crazy as hell. So we go do the show, and I just remember being like on the side of the like backstage on the side watching J. Cole and Fabulous like live. This shit was amazing. And I remember Theo walked up to me and he gave me this envelope. He just was like, whatever you do, don't lose this envelope. I'm like, all right, whatever, bro. It's an envelope. It's whatever type vibe. You feel me? So there are other interns, but I'm kind of over top of all these interns. They've been here longer than me. I done fucked around and brought my homies in with me and all kind of stuff now. So like, yo, we finna take over the trap. So end of the night, J. Cole's performing. He comes up to me. He's like, yo, like, where the envelope at? I'm like, relax. You told me like not to let no. I got it. I swear to God, I got it. It's right here. He like, I bet, open it. I'm like, nah, bro. You been riding my ass by this envelope all night, bro. You open it. He like, trust me, open it. It's gonna change your life. Y'all open the envelope. It's a $100,000 check in Theo's name. Feel me? Clean. You feel me? So I'm looking at this shit, and I'm just looking at the check like, how many is it? That's a comma. That's 3 zeros after comma. What the fuck? So I'm looking at him like, yo, what did you do? He's like, this is a commission check for me putting this together. And I'm just like, bro, how? What are you doing? He just like, yo, stick with me, and I'm gonna teach you how this side of the shit works. I've never went back there like the creative side ever since. I've never tried to make a beat, trying to put never. It went straight. As soon as I seen that $100,000 check, I'm like, go teach me your ways. And I just started. I interned with different people from there. So unfortunately, I had to drop out of college to help come take care of my grandparents down here in Florida. So I went to Jacksonville. I started interning with DJ Dr. Doom, who was big on the radio station at that time. And it went from I went from having to roll up at one point to helping book shows, but now I'm with somebody new, and I got to start all over again. So it's like, yo, what do you do? It's like, yo, I was booking J. Cole last week, and it's like, okay, cool. Here's a box of flyers, 5,000, put them out, have fun. You feel me? So I had to just grind. So I just met with different people, and I kept grinding. So it went from, put these 5,000 flyers out to, hey, I'm having, a Funk Fest concert. I need you to come help me work the stage and type thing. And, oh, since you can't help me work the stage, I'm going to make sure that you meet Erykah Badu because that's your favorite artist. And you know what I'm saying? Like, she just started evolving and going from that. And it just was, learning different things. I started interning with another lady, Stephanie Davis. She was doing PR. And at the time, this is when Love and Hip Hop first came out. So now I'm learning the PR aspect, the promo, the social media. We're verifying, all the first Love and Hip Hop people. Like, we set up all their pages. Stevie J, I remember personally setting up that man's page and, like, verifying his page through the ages. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit. So literally having to just put in work. You feel me? Like paying people for their time. Yo, I'll intern with you. Yo, let me throw you $200 so I can sit in the studio with you and learn from you, and just absorbing from every way that I kind of could until I was at a point where I was just trying to do something on my own. So in Jacksonville, I had a food truck. I dropped out of college and came straight down and just started grinding. Set my food truck in front of a strip club. Wow. That's constant money. So eventually came, that's the kid with the food truck who know how to do the copyright. You feel me? So people would literally come order food from the window, and from the back of it, I'm spitting game like, yo, so look, that's why you need to do your copyrights, and we can perform you here and blah, blah, blah. And I got the DJs and all. So it just turned into a trap. And, from there, it was eventually creating, a formal company and, creating services and figuring out what I actually want to do. And I did some of everything. You feel me? From managing and promoting clubs, artists, strippers, like all kind of, being on tour. And so now I'm at a point now where it's like I found the gap that, is needed in the industry, on top of the fact that I've, found out, what makes me happy. Teaching independents and creatives how to really make money and survive in this industry is what makes me happy now. So it's like, now let's find a way to make a living off this, and at the same time, change some other people's lives and help plateau them closer to what their dream trying to be as well.
Okay. I'm how long would you say that grind took for you to get where you at now?
Oh man, I would say I started seriously with this when I was about 20. I'm 29 now. But even I really started this when I was like 17. You feel me? Like I remember being in high school and we had like a little teen club, and you got in free if you put the flyers out. So I'm the kid in school, like, make sure y'all come to bounce this weekend. You feel me? Like, club close at 11. We can get in and party all night long. And that was it. You feel me? I was always just a social person, an outgoing person. I was like, what is it, like vice president of my class and certain shit like that. And, and in National Honor Society and all that stuff. So I've always been just kind of a leader and a motivating person. So it was just taking it from one room to another and figuring out, like, high school's over. What do I lead now? You feel me? Like, how do I help the community now? How do I help our people now? And what makes me happy all at the same time? And now I'm at a point where I figured it out.
Okay, that's what's up. I like to hear that. Because like when I was speaking to Shannon, that's the main thing I was talking about. Also, the time it takes to grind. Because I notice now they put so much pressure on the youth to do something at a certain amount of time, but it's not necessarily the adults. It's like peer pressure now. You know what I mean? Like people get shamed for not being at a certain place at a certain age. Like everybody can't be Gucci Mane, Beyonce, Jay-Z at 22. You know what I mean? That's why you had a Bow Wow or you had Chris Cross. Not that many artists make it at such a young age and become just out of this world superstars at a young age. Right. So I definitely try to put that up. Just like you said, Shannon said, hey, it takes some years. You could be like DMX or Eminem or Jay-Z. That's what people don't think about. Jay-Z actually didn't blow up till he was like 29.
Yeah, Jay-Z was damn near 30 when he finally blew.
Yeah, when Hard Knock came out, he was actually like 29, and that's what people don't even realize. They just think that it happened overnight.
It's a lot of them. Even you gotta look at the big money people. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at Oprah. Look at Bill Gates. All of them didn't really make their blow until after how many years of failure? For me, how many years being told no? Oprah couldn't even host a goddamn morning show at one point. You feel me? Now she has her own network on top of having the Oprah show for how many years? Her own magazine, all that shit. You feel me? Like so, and that's my biggest thing. I tell people all the time, and I literally just told my girl this morning. Like you gotta trust your struggle. You gotta trust exactly where you at the exact time that you at, in the exact moment of what's going on, because all that is going to get you prepared for where you're going to be at the long run. You feel me? Like, so you got to learn how to, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to eat the oodles and noodles before you can go get, you know what I'm saying? The flavor like that. You feel me? Like, you got to be prepared that way when that steak come, you know how to hold your steak and how to cut it properly. You're not in there, you know what I'm saying, picking it up with a fork. Like, you got to take those steps to be able to be prepared for that. So we can't just wake up and be like, y'all want to be a billionaire, like, bet, you know how to handle billionaire taxes. So why you want to be a billionaire so fast? You feel me? Like trust the struggle that you in and take the steps that way. It's just gonna make you a better person when you get to that room. That when you're ready for it, it's gonna be ready for you.
Real talk. So far as everything that's going on right with you right now, like I know the pandemic is messing with everybody. So what are things you got going on right now? You know what I'm saying, for as your business wise and working with artists and where you want to take your business to the next step in the future.
For sure. I'm always moving. I'm always outside. You feel me? So March is coming up. March is an extremely busy month for myself and Shannon. March is normally when I go back on tour. So March is also Women's Month. So we have just a month full of different events. With COVID going on, I've been doing just a lot of workshops in person in this specific city of Orlando right now, just because when I was on tour the last 2 or 3 years, this is the one city that I wasn't doing shows in because I was always just in and out, in and out. This was just a fly home, switch clothes, go back out type thing. So a lot of in-person workshops, a lot of virtual workshops, a lot of networking with just different entities. We just finished yesterday a whole series with this other network called We Work in University. So we did a month worth of webinars about publishing. March 3rd, we're doing the Women Taking the Court with Shannon and myself. March 16th, we're doing a artist development workshop here in Orlando. March 20th, we're doing a women boot camp type thing. The end of March, I'm going back to Houston because I didn't got booked out of there. So we constantly moving. You feel me? It's always stuff going on. I'm always doing different writer workshops with different artists, and I'm trying to get on my creative side a little bit, and then been writing in some sessions a little bit with my team. So some of everything, you feel me? I'm always working, and just it all depends on when the phone rings and what the call is.
Okay, for sure. So before we get out of here, go ahead and plug yourself in. Where can people contact you at?
For sure. So I'm JAI YOKO on everything. You feel me? From JAI YOKO ENT, from Instagram to Facebook to MySpace. You feel me? If you put it in your Google, I promise you it'll come up. The biggest thing that I tell people when it comes to wanting to work, like I'm open. You feel me? Like as long as it makes sense and it makes sense, we can figure out something to work. So I tell people if you go to my Instagram, that's probably the best way to reach me, just because it gives you an opportunity to kind of see on my page the type of person and work that we do. I tell people, like, do your research so you can vouch for me type thing. You feel me? Like, go through my comments and see people talking so you can see how people are really saying, like, I'm not making this shit up. You feel me? Like, let them talk for yourself type thing. And, take the website out. That kind of gives people an overview of what we're trying to do. And if you're interested, I always have a link in my bio that says work with Jay. Tap it. You feel me? Just let me know what you got going on. Eventually I reply. It'll be, honest and candid. And I tell people just be honest with me and we'll figure out some type of way to make it work. At the end of the day, my goal, regardless of, how much money somebody has in their pocket, where they're from, what they look like, my goal is to try to make their dream come true. So if I have some knowledge in my head that I can give somebody and that can take them to their, next level for their dream, just let me know so I can give it to you some type of way.
Okay, for sure. All right. Well, I appreciate having you on. I'm gonna have to have you on here again.
Let's do it, man.
Some game. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of Check Me Out. So definitely make sure you check me out again. All right, peace. So we about to go ahead and wrap it up. I know y'all enjoyed that interview. And once again, if you want to go ahead and reach out to somebody, go ahead and holler at us. checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. One word, checkmeoutmusic@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? You want to hit us up so you can get in contact with JAI YOKO, go ahead. She also left her handle on there for y'all. Y'all can go ahead and look her up. Instagram, JAI YOKO ENT, or Facebook. You know what I mean? Go ahead and get at her. So now we're going to get up out of here. You know what I mean? I got to go handle Batman over there in the Batmobile. He got to go handle some stuff. You know what I mean? Go out there and fight crime at night. So, so before we get out of here, Batman, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and let them know where they can reach you at, man. You know what I'm saying? So they can hit you up.
Yo, it's Batman _ the DJ at Instagram and on Twitter, and also Cold One TV. That's Cold the number 1 TV on Facebook and YouTube.
All right. And y'all want to holler at me, go ahead, hit me up, JTL Going Dolo on Facebook. We also on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Check Me Out Music on Instagram if you want to go ahead and holler at us. Go ahead and follow us, you know what I'm saying? Show us some love over there, you know what I'm saying? We always let y'all know when the next show coming out, so that means you definitely got to make sure you subscribe as well, hit that notification bell so you can get at us, you know what I mean? So until next Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as always, Check Me Out Music. Stay tuned. You know how I go. We out here.
What's happening? It's Real Liv, and this is Check Me Out.
Yeah, this is your boy Ski 3, and I'm on Check Me Out.
Check me out. Yo. This is the portal. Check me out. Check me out.
Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out. Check me out.